I don't think we're ever going to make it into any kind of broadcast Hall of Fame. At least I'm not.
No,
but Terrence is with someone who is very well deserving of it.
That's right. Many of you know the name Chatty Hattie Leaper. She, of course, was the first African-American woman on Charlotte radio. She's also one of the members of the inaugural class of the Charlotte Broadcasting Hall of Fame. She's with me this morning to talk about her career and the Hall of Fame honor. So good to have you here. I appreciate you coming by this morning.
Thank you for asking me over. I would not have missed this for the world.
Well, I appreciate it. Talk about getting into the business. This was the 1950s in the United States, and you were asked to go on the radio. That had to be huge in that day and age.
Well, very huge, but how it happened, I was only 14 years old, and I was in, of course, school, and then my main focus of being around the radio station was just, you know, back in the day, you would just hang around, you know. That's how you really got your foot in the door. You would just hang around the DJs, you know. So I would go down after school, after getting my homework done, you know, and my mom would let me go down to the radio station. We lived very close to the station. And I would go down to WGIV and make myself useful while I was there. I would answer the phone. I would file the records away. See, back in the day, we had 78 RPM, and then we moved up to 45. Everything was monaural, you know, no stereo, nothing, you know. It was just basic. And I just found myself doing a lot of little tasks around the station, and sooner or later, they would miss me the days I didn't show up. They would say, where's that little girl? You know, because I was helpful. I'd go get your coffee, you know, anything to try to get in the door. And, of course, I started learning the techniques, how the DJs were talking over the mic and how they would act as if they were talking to a million people, but yet they were just standing, you know, there looking right into the mic. And
eventually they saw that you had some skill with all of this and some talent, and they said, you know, put this girl in the air.
Yeah, that actually happened that way, you know, hanging around. But it was a long time hanging around there now. It didn't happen instantly, you know. And I had to make myself accessible, useful. And then before you know it, I had an opportunity to segue some music one day when one of the DJs didn't show up for work.
How has the industry changed in general, just in terms of access? When you were coming up, there weren't many blacks in broadcasting, period, and now it's not an uncommon thing.
Absolutely. I feel that I've paved the way for all of the sisters that you see out there now.
And the brothers, and people like me, absolutely.
Of course, because it was a hard task, you know, to break through at that time. But, you know, I didn't have in my mind at all that I would ever make that a career, you know, back then. Because I just thought, because it was not heard of any females or many males, you know, doing this kind of thing. But it grew. You know, it just kind of, the longer you're on it, it's like catching a cold, you know. You would just catch it and you just wouldn't let go. And it got in your blood.
Before I let you go, I want to talk about this. You obviously are in this inaugural class of the Charlotte Broadcast Hall of Fame. The reality is, initially, when they came out with this list, no one of color was included. And then after some public outcry, you were added. Do you resent the idea that there are so many people in Charlotte of color who have done significant things in broadcasting and they were overlooked initially?
Well, actually, I can't say overlooked. I actually feel that this was a first, and, you know, they had to learn. You know, there's a learning process, because we have some great talent to choose from. I mean, not only in broadcasting, but women and men, Afro-Americans, we've made contributions all along. And if you don't keep tooting your horn and keep, you know, out there, see, I stay out there, you know, everybody knows Chatty Hattie, because I'm everywhere, I'm all over the place. So therefore, it's hard to not remember some of the accomplishments that I brought to the table.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for paving the road for so many of us. We appreciate having you here today.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Terrence, you're a doll.
Thank you very much. My mom is probably listening, so she's going to give me a hug for you today. Thank you so much.